Welcome back. We're going to be starting some more seeds today. I went ahead and got everything out that I own currently for seed starting. This is my second year gardening, so I'm still trying to stockpile and build up my supply of seeds, trays, cells, all the things. I have my planter out here. I went ahead and I started some different varieties of peppers and beans back on February 7th, and I think that was a bit soon for my area. Now that we're getting closer to the last frost date for my area, I feel a lot more confident getting more things started and not wasting seed or my time for something that I have to try and keep alive until I can get it outside. So at the dollar store, I picked up some radishes, a variety of carrot, a variety of pole bean, and then I have a few flowers. On February 7th, when I started planting some of those things, I planted bronco beans, golden wax beans, and strike bush beans. And those have sprouted upstairs where I get the most light. I have them up in a big window in some grow trays. But I think I planted them too soon. Second year gardening, don't know what I'm doing. These pieces to make trellis off of Amazon. There's enough pieces to make 3 trellises for the garden. Super excited about this. I don't have the capabilities of putting grow lights in this room or with this whole setup as much as I wish I did. The only outlet in this room upstairs is all the way over by the door, and so I would need 1, if not 2, extension cords, probably 1, maybe 2, to either trail along the carpet or like command hook them to the wall and go up around the room to get to this shelf here, and then get everything hooked up and then start using the grow lights. The natural light in here is pretty good. It's pretty bright most of the day. If you can see how bright it is on my face, it's not bad. You'll notice at the beginning of the video I had a plan on how I was going to do things and how that ended up changing to be completely different by the end of the video, but that seems to be the name of the game. Just kind of trusting the process, and we're gonna see what happens. I invested in some bigger and better seed starting equipment. It just hasn't came in yet, so I'm using what I have while I have it, and then hopefully next year or kind of late summer, mid to late summer, when it's time to start a few more things if I feel necessary, I'll be able to have the proper equipment to do that. But if I have enough of these to use today, we will see. There are a few other things I would like to try and get started. I have some squash, lettuces, and cucumbers that maybe we would get started. I think that would probably be better to start closer to March, and right now it is February 25th. So we're about a week out from March, but I'm not sure. We'll think on that. Anyway, with these kind of sorted out here, I think I do want to start tomatoes for sure. I definitely don't have enough seed trays or seed cells. That might be a problem. I don't think I want to start any more. I had thought that I wanted to start more beans, but since they germinated so quickly upstairs, I don't want to waste more seed just to have to put them in a bigger pot and then transplant them outside. I think I'll wait on these until I have a better system outside, and then I'll just put them in after the last frost, and we'll start there. I think every single one of the cells that I have upstairs that I put peppers in, I think every single one of them started. And so there's 6 in there, so that's 12. So I have 12, theoretically, 12 plants of each, and I think that is way more than we will definitely need. So I don't know if I really need to start any more peppers today either, and I hope I don't regret that decision. So I think for now, we're gonna go ahead and get the tomatoes started and flowers. That should be plenty for these. Being such a novice at gardening, I definitely bought all of, not the wrong equipment, but not the best or most practical. Definitely looking forward to the investment of trays that I have coming from Amazon. The store was the Bootstrap Farmer, and they're 10-20 trays and then the cell inserts for that. I do already have the humidity domes. I bought a 10-pack of those, but obviously they are not the same size. So I just misread the description on that, but I decided I would try and use them anyway because I had already bought these cells. Then I realized these cells, I feel like they're too tall for the tray. It was a learning experience. So we will see how this year goes, but I'm excited to be able to use my better equipment next year or late summer if I decide to start more inside. I just found all of these extra like seedling pots in with my potting soil. I thought they were out in the garage. Now I don't have to go get them. But I'll be able to use a couple of these, I think. I can just set them in the tray like this. And I'll be able to use this more for tomatoes. Because I also don't have confidence that everything is going to develop and do well once it gets outside. It looks okay right now, but I don't have grow lights or anything upstairs. It's kind of flying by the seat of my pants. Since I have a few more pots and they're a little bit bigger, I could do maybe 2 or 3 seeds in one of these. Let them do their thing inside for a bit until the last frost hits, and then I'll be able to kind of separate them and get them outside. I'm gonna do a couple of everything, I think. A couple of each flower. We'll see what happens. I know I have extra seeds in the pack. I won't use the whole packet, so I think we'll be okay. Flying by the seat of my pants. Okay. This is almost too wet, my soil mix here. This was a bucket. It had been sitting outside and got some snow in there after it snowed. After I did the first round of planting, or seed starting, I guess. Then when I brought it in here, it melted, so it's nice and damp, and I think it's almost too far gone, but we're gonna use it while we have it. I'm not gonna add any more water. I can hear the moisture. I might add some more to kind of draw the moisture out. I can hear the moisture in it, but it keeps its shape well. I should add that this is my second year gardening on my own, kind of doing it all on my own in my own space at my house. But I have gone to greenhouses for many years with my family and bought flower starts and things like that, and you know, just put them in a pot or dug a hole in the ground and put it in the ground. But I am officially on my own. I kind of want it to be, the cells to be packed tightly, but not too tight that once I kind of put the cover on there, I don't want it to completely separate. Like if it dries out and you water it and then it, although they shouldn't get that dried out. So we'll do these 2 trays of mingle mix tomato. I don't even think I have enough tomato cages because I have essentially 3 trellises to take outside, to build and put outside. And then I think there's 4 or 6 tomato cages, the metal cages that were already on the property. And granted, not all of these are gonna survive. At least I'm not banking on that all of them are gonna survive. We're gonna start with 1 in each cell. If that ends up being a mistake, then so be it. Trust the process. I'm sure some people who are gonna stumble upon this video are gonna be so annoyed at the method of how I do things. I have been told I am very impulsive. I just kind of learn from the experience, so that is what this is all about. Our first tomato seeds planted of 2023. It's so exciting. Okay, let me get that marked. If anyone has a better suggestion on how to store open seeds if you don't use the whole package, or just storing seeds in general, let me know. Honestly, I just bought a few varieties of things that I wanted to try growing, try cooking with, try preserving. I didn't really read a whole lot on what I was buying, so there could be some mistake and lessons learned from that. I think the Mingle Mix, there's not a picture of what the tomato looks like on the package. But if I remember, I think that was more of like a cherry picking tomato variety, and then the Roadster and the Pink Girl are a bit bigger. Probably better for slicing in salsas and tomato sauces and things like that. We have a tray of tomatoes for 2023. I could do the big ones with the sunflowers because I think they'll probably do better with a bigger, taller pot, be able to have a stronger root structure, and then maybe they'll do better when they do go out if I am planting them too early. And then we'll do zinnias in a couple. We'll try blue in there, and we'll do alyssum in there, I guess. Start seeds indoors 6 weeks before last frost. And I think our last frost is supposed to be, it's like the last week of April through the first week of May. So where are we at with things? I think it's probably still too early because it would be towards the end of March, would be 4 weeks. And then April, so it'd be like mid-April. So that might be a little early, but for just dollar store seeds, I'm not really worried about these ones, I guess. It would be super exciting if everything, or at least if I had the opportunity to try and get everything that I started inside outside, but we'll see. Flowers for 2023. I have to go grab the beans from upstairs, and I'll be back. Okay, so this is what the beans are looking like right now. There's still a few that actually I can see they're coming through the soil. They're not as mature as the others, even though they were planted the same day. So exciting. There's even like the shell of the bean. Oh my gosh. It's like an egg hatching. I'm gonna try and move the bigger ones, probably not all of them. When I put that dome on top, it kind of like crunches them all. Maybe I can just take the dome off. That would be okay too. Cool beans. Funny. There is such a learning curve when it comes to gardening because everybody's story and experience is different. Let's say you grew a lot of tomatoes. The next year you might grow none or not as much as you would have liked. It just differs year to year for every person, every environment, every climate. It's just so cool. This is my first full year gardening, trying to actually start things from seed. Last year I just bought starts, flower starts and vegetable starts, things like that. But this year, doing it on my own, being able to do this, my timeline might be a little off. It's so cool to see this and be a part of this and to say I did that, even if it doesn't go well, I guess. Just to have the experience and learn from it, so cool. You can see how they're reaching, and they're so, not that they wouldn't be long and stemmy, but they really are trying to reach for the light. And I was trying to do my best to rotate the pot or the tray every so often, so it would kind of like equally stretch them out, hopefully. I will admit that I'm also guilty of not being the best at watering because of the fact that everything's upstairs. I have to carry buckets or bowls or whatever I can fit the most water into. I have to carry that all upstairs and make multiple trips. So it takes a while. It's not my favorite. If you could see the mess in my kitchen right now, all for a good reason. I think that's one of my favorite things when you buy things from a nursery or a greenhouse in a seed cell like this, and you take them out and it's just like a formed soil. I think that's so cool. I don't know why. Because then you just take this whole little thing, you put it in the ground or put it in a pot, and magic happens. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you for following along on my green thumb journey. All right, friends, if you stuck with me long enough to watch that entire video, I wanted to show you this is what my grow system seed starting area is looking like. So I have all of my tomatoes in one tray with a humidity dome and all of the peppers in one tray. I just came up here and gave everything a water and rotated this tray. You can see all of the seedlings, the sprouts are leaning, they were leaning towards the sun, but I got them rotated. I have some herbs. These are the flowers that we just planted and the remainder of my beans. I took some garlic that had kind of sprouted itself in my fridge. It was going bad. I forgot to water this. I have to come back up here and do that. But I planted that in that pot, and we'll see what that does, and maybe I'll be able to get that in the ground this spring. The beans that we just repotted today. This is what that I I had to bend the lower legs of the trellis to kind of get them to fit in that pot, so I hope it doesn't put too much pressure on this connector piece for both of them. This is a spike plant and a couple jalapeno pepper plants that I had repotted in with the spike plant last summer, towards the end of the season, and they're probably at this point not gonna do much for me, but they're still living, so they're just kind of hanging out in the pot with the spike plant, but not much going on there. And then I have this huge elephant palm bush, I guess, tree, I'm not sure, and it is definitely suffering inside. This whole potted arrangement needs some spring and summer and fresh air, but I'm doing the best that I can with it upstairs. I had to make a makeshift support for it. I definitely need to reconfigure that, but it needed some help standing up. All the stems are really weak and it needs to get back outside. But overall, I mean, they haven't died over winter. They've been up here since probably mid to late September, I think. I'd have to go look back at pictures.